Monti Ossenfort continues to tweak the Cardinals' defense with a pair of scrappy defenders. Is it going to be enough to move up the defensive rankings? And then one player that the fan base is saying pair with Kyler Murray, they finally brought in, but Kyler's gone. We'll tell you who that is, Johnny Venerable, plus much more.
A lot of signings for the Arizona Cardinals. Are any of them good? Plus, why the tea leaves suggest one of two players ahead of pick 3. PHNX Cardinals starts now. Hey, welcome in. From Studio K, presented by our friends at Circle K. It's the PHNX Cardinals podcast, your premier, #1 in the world Arizona Cardinal podcast. Like and subscribe. Leave us a 5-star wherever you get your programming. I'm Johnny Venerable. He's Brack in Studio K. Noah Man behind the Mac today. Busy weekend for the Cards. Not busy enough for an emergency podcast, but busy nonetheless. We're going to break it all down. Hit that like button. I'm ready for the t-shirt that says I survived week 1 of free agency with Monti Ossenfort.
Yeah, I guess it's official. But as far as how much longer we can last with these lackluster signings, that remains to be seen. But I do see everybody lighten up the chat. How about Das Libra utilizing those supporter emojis? Colin, Steven Jackson. How about Schaff? Naheem, Eric Christensen, New Jersey Cardinal, Desert Treble, Jack, I see you, 77 Far North, Mike, Maddies, the Maddies, how about Gardeck the Barbarian? That's a true supporter there as well. I like this one. How about Jay Gibbons, not to be confused with Jack Gibbons. And then, yeah, I see you, Dustium. A full house here to start PHNX Cardinals Monday. And as Johnny requested, kindly hit that like.
So I'm going to push back a little bit on my co-host. Maybe he'll have a difference of opinion. I have liked the last couple of moves this team has made. Okay. That might feel like hyperbole given what was, I didn't like last week. Not a lot to like.
Something that's being hyperbolic.
Yeah. A lot of people are like, oh, you're not allowed to like things now. You have to take one stance or another. Sure. Listen. Just get it out of the way. It's going to take a lot to get that stench of last Monday out of the show, out of what this team did. I mean, it was a week
when somebody's saying using hyperboles is like, this is great. This is the greatest tasting food I've ever had. And you're like, kind of like it.
Yeah.
It's okay.
It's fine. It was a week ago where Bo and I sat here. Bo did like 8 shows in a day.
Yeah.
And this team was a literal dumpster fire. And I'm not happy at all with what they're doing at quarterback. I like the large majority of the rest of these moves, and these are the kind of moves that I will and would have applauded had they signed a competent quarterback. So I'm just getting that out of the way. Still not happy with how they handle quarterback, but I do like the moves headlined this weekend and today. Cardinals bring in Pro Bowl returner Devin Duvernay, once upon a time a late-round pick from Baltimore, made a couple Pro Bowls, went to Chicago last year, helped them win some games, especially down the stretch against the Packers. Just a rock-solid return man. Not going to help you a lick, an iota, as a receiver, but he's going to come in and, with all due respect, he's part of this network, he is an upgrade over Greg Dortch. Do you agree with that?
I almost swung on you. How dare you say that to our sweet prince?
I didn't flinch. What?
Light the door. Light the door to congrats to my former podcast co-host, my favorite podcast co-host of all time, Greg Dortch, who got engaged over the weekend. And you're slandering his name, but it's not too slanderous because Duvernay he was an all-pro return man.
Yeah.
Tough to beat that. As you mentioned, 2-time Pro Bowler. And yes, he is the cousin of Kyler Murray. That it seemed like every offseason was like, well, why don't you go get his cousin? He doesn't have like a true defined role in the offense.
Yeah.
Why don't you buy low on him, bring it over from Baltimore? And then he's had a couple stops since then, Jacksonville, Chicago, as you mentioned, and still returning at a high clip. It's just a good move. It's a good move with Devin Duvernay coming over. Yeah, I agree with you. It's a nice, low risk move for the Cardinals to help continue to rework their special teams that were atrocious in really every kind of department. So it's like you look to get healthier at punter. You look to get more consistent with Rylan. You hope to get the coverage back locked in with Joey Blunt, hopefully returning. And then in the return game, Devin Duvernay, he'll bolster that a little bit.
You need to have good special teams if you're maybe going to start a rookie quarterback at some point next year named Ty Simpson. So we're excited about that. Good move in the category of good move. Then it broke over the weekend. Mike Reese, who does a phenomenal job covering the Patriots for ESPN, longtime Boston sports reporter.
Yeah,
said
you're taller than him.
That's right. Cardinals were hosting Jack Gibbons. And if you're wondering who is that, I'll tell you who it is. He was an undrafted free agent circa 2022 with one Monti Ossenfort and Venerable. Okay. And then he makes his way after a couple of years to the Patriots last year and plays a bunch of snaps at linebacker. He's an off-ball linebacker. He's a good tackler, right? He is this year's Akeem Davis-Gaither, way better of a player. And I would think, as you were doing some research on the old Reddit streets and what the Patriot fan, because that's the biggest thing. It's like PFF numbers, you can take 100 tackles, which he had, and shine it up in a certain way. What are the Patriots fandom who live and die, that team, think of him leaving? They don't like it. He was a contributor on special teams, but they thought he was working his way into being a full-time off-ball linebacker.
Yeah.
He hits free agency, 27, 28 years old, gets a 2-year deal, and somebody who you can just say, okay, at the very least, he's the third option at off-ball, and he's a special teamer, and he was sacking Josh Allen in the playoffs last year, or could become something more than that. You never know.
I think you just made that up.
He did.
I don't even think the Patriots and the Bills played in the playoffs last year.
Well, maybe it was in week 18. Maybe it was in week 18.
Right. All right, you're just adding a game to the slate.
Josh Allen late in the season, it was snowing, so my brain went to postseason. But you're right. I think he did have a very nice postseason run.
Yeah.
Especially against some of those defensive performances for New England late in the year. He's not a great player, but he's a nice contributor.
Yeah, look, across the board, you see him, like, if you're just looking how he graded out, I know that's just a piece of the puzzle, according to our folks over at PFF, but fine grades, all consistently in the mid-60s. As you mentioned, he does well on special teams. He's a fine player. And I think, like, Gibbons and Duvernay and the official signing of Andrew Wingard today, I think the analytics are off the chart with these folks. Like, I like them. Like, you might find some flaws in them statistically or how they grade, but I think that these guys bring a certain amount of scrappiness to the defense that they lack. Like, Gibbons and Wingard are juiced up on tackling fuel that they lacked last year.
No doubt.
And like that, if you can find some more like surefire tacklers to add with Budda Baker, then I think that does help you considerably. When you add a linebacker and a safety that are sound in the run game like those two, I think that adds to your defense. And then, as predicted and forecasted by this show, how were they going to rework the defensive line? It wasn't going to be a big splash. It was going to be via, 1 year rentals, plug and play guys, and then lean into what you've done as far as the draft and Darius Robinson. And hopefully once he gets back healthy, Walter Nolan III.
Andrew Billings comes over from Chicago. He was in the announcement with Gibbons today. Billings, Bo, his numbers aren't great, PFF-wise. I would push back on that and say, as a nose tackle that plays such limited snaps, and I responded to somebody on Twitter this night, this is genuinely what I believe. This is not coping. it's a very difficult position to evaluate because you don't know, are they being asked to take up blocks? Are they being asked to rush up field? Like they may only play like 10 to 20 snaps a game. He's enormous. And you would assume he started 38 straight games or somewhere around 38 games over the last couple of years with Chicago. So he's more or less their starting nose tackle. Okay. Now, something that you outlined, they already re-signed Roy Lopez after being gone for a year. So now this is depth at nose tackle. That, by the way, they did not have last year. Their nose tackle after Dalvin Tomlinson, who was bad, was zero, was you and I. They let our sweet Prince go to Tampa Bay in the preseason, the undrafted kid.
Yeah,
and then
voice of an angel.
Yeah, and they didn't have anybody else. So, again, you get this guy, he comes in, he's 31. He's not going to be asked to play a ton. You don't break the bank. Again, this is what they should be doing. Jonah Williams, 1-year deal. Or did he get a 2-year deal? He might have got a 2-year deal. But LJ Collier, 1-year deal. These guys over 30 are getting 1-year deals. Roy Lopez got a 2-year deal. Because guess who it's on? It's on Darius. It's on Walter Nolan. It could be on a 2nd, 3rd, 4th round draft pick, Dante Stills. But you at least, here's what you have. You at least have now enough talent to go into the season and not be a train wreck, right? You're not giving Andrew Billings the Justin Jones contract of a couple of years ago. If he comes here and stinks and is out of shape, you cut him before the regular season. But if he can come in and play the same role he had in Chicago, whose defense played well at the end of the year, then it's a win for them.
Yeah. I'm seeing it. Is it 340? Is that right? Is that what he's weighing in at?
Got a big jersey.
My goodness. Yeah. And Jonah Williams was a 1-year deal. No, not that Jonah Williams, the defensive player that Johnny's talking about that came over from New Orleans.
Yeah.
And you know it's a rotation. And when you're going to look for the thump, you're going to look for the impact when it's third and whatever, from short to manageable to long. Who's going to be the guy that's going to get you off the field? Well, you drafted those guys. Everybody else has to be glue guys, including Dante Stills. They just have to kind of fill in the cracks here, fill in the gaps, and play sound defensive lineman football. You don't need somebody to go out there and win you the game with these types of transactions. That's why you're utilizing high draft picks, like 16th overall, like 26th overall, like B.J. Ojolari coming off the edge. Like those are guys that you have to hit on, especially because you're a draft and develop team. But I really do like these signings. I'm with you. And I'm not being hyperbolic with it. I do like these. Like the only thing that takes away from the luster of this ragtag group of defensive players that they've added this year is the fact that the quarterback room is such a disaster.
We're not going to talk about that.
That's the only thing that seems to just continue to plummet the Cardinals' grades across the board. It's just like the F- in the locker room. It's going. You're gonna be towards the bottom of the league if you score low in these categories. And that's just what's happening with this offseason. Like I've seen from Bleacher Report, the ESPN, the Pro Football Focus, whatever publication you look at, and free agency rankings or gradings, Cardinals are scoring low because of why? The quarterback position. But everywhere else, like it looks like sound roster maintenance.
Smart choices. Here are the defensive linemen. I tried to make a list in the chat, and it bundled up here. Walter Nolan, Darius Robinson, Roy Lopez, you would presume are the starters when healthy. Dante Stills, LJ Collier, Andrew Billings, and Jonah Williams are the reserve players. So there's 7 defensive linemen.
Yeah.
They're going to draft one, you would assume. They'll bring in some as undrafted players. You would assume that their work on defensive line is done. And again, like Walter Nolan probably is going to start the year on PUP. So, I mean, this is roster fine-tuning, which is fine. It's what you should do. These are the kind of moves you should do second week of free agency. But as my co-host said, it's just everything gets weighted down because of, I mean, like, it's not just that they botched this quarterback situation. They did it day one, and then they announced it to the world.
Right.
Could you imagine, like, we were sitting here and we like still hadn't heard anything and they hadn't signed anybody with Jacoby, and we'd be like, okay, what's the play? What's happening with Kirk Cousins? Where's Derek Carr? Where's his headspace? Like, that's why, I mean, again, Monti Ossenfort will speak with Mike LaFleur in about a month's time. And that will be a very tumultuous press conference because, as they say on the streets, people don't forget.
We're going to talk with Michael LaFleur at the end of the month at the league meetings, which is going to be here locally. But yeah, I mean, they did not leave any kind of mystery. About as soon as they possibly could, Monti Ossenfort left a giant blanket outside and let it rain on it for about a weekend, and then he threw it over the quarterback question and like the intrigue. And unfortunately, it came in the form of having a second backup in that room that does not have or feature a QB1, a legitimate QB1 by 2026 standards or 2025 standards, if you look at it that way. It's the unfortunate truth as far as where the Cardinals sit. Now, let me ask you about this Jack Gibbens, because you clearly are a fan. Not a full-time player, but obviously the Cardinals, as their linebacking room looks right now, off ball, it's Mac Wilson coming back, right? Final year of his deal, and then he's going to wear the green dot. You've got yourself, and hopefully we'll see what his health status is, because you had a little nugget on that. It was more than just a rib injury.
Yeah, he had a collapsed lung. Yeah,
and then you've got Cody Simon, who played really well down the stretch, double-digit tackle game to finish things out. With Gibbons entering that equation, I'm looking at the third overall pick and some speculation. It continues to run rampant, not on this show, but a guy who primarily plays off-ball linebacker is still in the conversation. I think this firmly takes the Cardinals out of that, because the only way you take Arvell Reese, Johnny, is if you say, we're going to play him 100% off the edge. And we have a full sense of conviction that he can do it. And that's pretty crazy to think at this stage.
A 20-year-old who has not logged a lot of pass rush snaps that we're projecting instead of just watching him play his natural position at the college level. Where has that gone poor before? We're going to talk around the break. Bo and I are going to break down where things stand with the third overall pick and look at the tail of the tape between the two players we believe are the lock consensus for Monti Ossenfort. That's coming up. Hit the like. It's PHNX. So fired up to have this next partner back in the fold. It's our friends at APS. And again, right now, they've got rate plan options to help you, a customer who wants help managing your bill. Again, not having trouble paying it, that comes later, but just managing it, what to know, what to expect. They say rate plan options, and they mean it. Again, check them out right now. They've got the monthly plan comparison on every one of their bills. So all you have to do is log in to see your account or call APS. I love logging in, checking last month to this month by comparison. You can check year over year. You can check usage, and you can check your monthly plan comparison to help save you money and to give you an idea ahead of, let's face it, the summer temperatures that come along with living here in the Valley. Again, check them out right now. Also, your payment is averaged out over the year with the budget billing feature, so you know what to expect every month, no matter the season. Some Arizonians experience extreme heat while others experience the cold heating. APS is statewide. Again, check them out right now. All you have to do is go to aps.com/let's talk. If you're thinking, I'm going to dip my toe in, I want one of those smart thermostats, I want to be ahead of the curve as it relates to the heating season. And friends, it's going to hit 104 here in the desert on Thursday. No better place than to do your budget billing than our friends at APS.
My God, 104? Yeah, I already had the AC working overtime on the weekend. Look, shout out to our friends over at Surfshark. Johnny, Surfshark develops humanized privacy and security solutions to safeguard your data and privacy online. Think VPN. It's like wearing pants. How about this analogy? When you step outside, all the important stuff stays covered. Even if it's 104, you got to be wearing pants, got to be covered up, or straight to jail. Once you connect to the internet, Surfshark encrypts your activity, keeping it hidden from snoopers, trackers, and anyone trying to peek at your business. Two things I love about Surfshark. How about the first one? One account covers unlimited devices. That means laptop, tablets, your phone, even the whole household will all be protected without juggling subscriptions, passwords, whatever it may be. And then second, they've got a 30-day money-back guarantee you can try out risk-free and see how it fits with your daily routine. Check it out right now. Surfshark.com/PHNX. Use the code PHNX at checkout to get an extra 4 months on top of the 30-day risk-free money-back guarantee of Surfshark VPN. That's surfshark.com/PHNX, code PHNX.
Hit that like button. We got info on our draft party later in the show. We got over 500 people watching. There will be tickets available before the end of the show and full details. But in the meantime, do us a favor, hit that like the goal. 500 likes on a football Monday. All right. So you and I, not huge fans of taking Arvell Reese for various reasons, including we've been scarred by tweener positions in the past. And the people we talk to are like, he's a project at edge rusher. He's not ready to rush the passer day one. Well, Cardinals need somebody to rush the passer. They don't need a project. So knowing that, thankfully, right now, Vegas odds came out over the weekend. The Jets are minus 200 to take Arvell Reese. Hopefully that continues to grow, and this is a non-starter. And again, I'm not dissing Reese the player or the person. Like if I had Mike Vrabel or, a savvy defensive head coach that I trusted, like go ahead and take him. But I don't trust this franchise with Arvell Reese. That being said, here are the updated odds, Bo, for pick 3. And there is no consensus while there is a front runner in Texas Tech's David Bailey.
Yeah, and look, David Bailey's probably just the highest ranked prospect, and then you're looking at, who's going ahead of the Cardinals at 3. And as you mentioned, Reese is an odds-on favorite for the Jets, and then, of course, Mendoza is a mortal lock, it feels like, for the Raiders at 1. David Bailey would just be the educated guess, smart money move right now. That I think the Cardinals, outside of the next guy in this list, I think that's where we're going to kind of lean, even though it kind of takes away some of the mystery over the next month and a half before the draft gets live from Green Bay this year. I mean, I think you go, I especially with the additions that they've made, and as I've called them scrappy and kind of roster maintenance, adding a David Bailey with a Walter Nolan inside and a Will Johnson at the cornerback position. I really like the young defensive group that he would be a part of. And I could say similar things about Francis CC Maui-Noah going at the tackle position. Like those premium position guys just add to the value. It's added value onto your roster you already have in place, where the other guys, they have to be damn special to really make an impact and move the needle roster-wise down the road.
Putting Jeremiah Love off to the side, because I think the viewers know how I feel about the Notre Dame product. The two players you just broke down are I think they're very safe. Mm-hmm. This franchise, not literally, but figuratively, is on fire right now. They need a fire hose. They need safe, right? Like Paris Johnson Jr. was safe when Monty took over, and it worked out. Now you could say, well, they burned themselves. They didn't get Will Johnson. They traded down for picks. I'm just giving you my synopsis of where I believe the franchise is right now. I like Ruben Bain. Ruben Bain has outlier qualities that does not warrant safe for the 3rd overall pick. Same with Arvell Reese. Those are prospects that Andy Reid can take in the top 10 and afford to miss on, and afford to say, okay, we're going to give him a couple years to develop. You know who can't do that? This franchise right now. This franchise, whomever they take, again, Jeremiah Love notwithstanding, if it's Francis Maui-Noah or David Bailey, guess where we know they're playing? The exact position they played in college. They come in as day one starters, especially Francis. Francis comes in as a day one starter, and you never look back. David Bailey probably has to earn his reps alongside Jordan Birch and B.J. Ojulari, but I mean, talent's it will eclipse, right?
Yeah.
Arvell Reese, what are you doing with him? Where's he practicing? Ruben Bain, he could show up and it's just we'll know in a second. This guy can't play. His arms are too short.
Right.
You'll have a sense of that. Oh, we got to move him inside. They're just Caleb Love, safety, out with injury concerns. Sonny Styles, off ball, no thanks. Again, Jeremiah Love was the only other player. I mean, I would take him at pick 3, and hopefully the Cardinals.
Still?
Yes, still.
Oh, man.
I would still take him at pick 3. Hopefully the Cardinals will have trade inquiries for him, because I think you could trade down, like a mini trade down with the Giants or somebody, and get one of these 2 players. But I think it does feel like we're on a crash course for Bailey or Maui Noah.
Yeah, and that's fine. And I see, is it Ari Manja saying Brandon Thorne has Fano as his top prospect at the tackle position, not concerned about arm length. Maui Noah is his second-ranked guard. I have a tough time getting on board with that. When I watch Fano, especially compete in the NFL Combine, like, he looks significantly undersized. He does not look like a tackle to me.
Correct.
And I respect Brandon Thorne, but Brandon Thorne does not have the pressure on his shoulders that Monti Ossenfort does have. And when we talked to Field Yates, and I thought Field made a great point, even though he most recently had the Cardinals taking Arvell Reese in his mock, I think the Cardinals need to lean into the position and the traits. And you can't take Bain, and you can't take Fano, and you can't take a running back at 3rd overall. You have to lean into these guys that are physical freaks and guys that have played the position at the collegiate level in a lot of games. And both David Bailey and Maui Noah have done that and competed against the top talent at that level. Like Stanford, Texas Tech, and Miami since he was 18, Maui Noah, like that's enough tape to really kind of get an idea of who he is. Yes, he does, Brian. Like, Baldy loves Francis Maui Noah, and Baldy I trust Baldy, especially on the offensive trenches side of things, almost more than anybody as far as his valuation. So I would take that. And the conversation I had with our guy Fran Duffy over the weekend, you can find that video on demand on our YouTube page, just kind of breaking down like how they view a guy like Francis Maui Noah and what he could potentially be from the very jump, and what he could be over the next 8 to 9 years in the NFL.
Let's look at the tail of the tape, because again, right now this franchise has addressed damn near everything in free agency minus quarterback. I'm not counting Gardner Minshew. There is not a quarterback to take 3rd overall, unfortunately. So then I think they could go out and play a game tomorrow with the edge rushers that they have, but David Bailey, they don't have a young prospect like David Bailey on their roster. So it would be naive to ignore that. I'm not going to sit here and say take Francis just because you've made a huge hole at right tackle. But I think it's easy to draw that conclusion. So let's take a look at the tail of the tape from our guy Noah. Unbelievable. Francis Maui Noah is 20 years old, and he's played college football for 3 years. That's an insane stat to me. Mm-hmm. He went to Miami as an 18-year-old kid, and immediately as a true freshman became, freshman of the year, all conference, freshman team, whatever the accolades were, and has started as an 18-year-old, and then consistently for Mario Cristobal's national championship contending squad, shown up every game and played right tackle. That's what this team needs. Consensus All-American, arm length, height, weight, you can check those boxes. Again, the pro comp, Fuaga, is going to make a lot of people say, well, I don't know, how's he doing with New Orleans? I mean, he's their franchise left tackle. Mm-hmm. And I also think some of those comps, I don't want to call people lazy, but they're doing the heritage thing. And it's just like, well, let's just compare Francis to all the other like Samoan-led prospects. I think Francis Maui Noah has a higher ceiling than Fuaga, who went later in the draft. Yes, this class is worse, but anytime, again, a kid, whether you're playing left or right tackle, has just come into an elite program and started this long. I mean, again, would I take him over Jeremiah Love? No, I would not. So on the record like that. But I do think that.
Why is that your stance right now?
Just
what
because
does that continue to be your stance?
This is just where the team is. I wouldn't have signed Tyler Algier. Would have drafted Jeremiah Love. I think it's important for me to continually state that that's my opinion, just in case we get new viewers on the show.
Okay. I continue to hold on to the wrong opinion throughout. That's a choice. It's certainly a choice. I mean, from a team building standpoint, regardless if you want to get into the Ty Simpson business or not, the future of the quarterback position would be propped up, and the infrastructure would continue to be reinforced by taking either one of these guys. Both play premium positions. Both have the traits, the measurables that you want. Both around the ballpark of the age you want. Both have the resumes from the previous level that you want. And, I think that these comps are very generous. Like Nick Bonito is an defensive player of the year candidate. Was he the defensive player of the year outright? No, I don't think so, but he was close to it and got a massive extension from the Denver Broncos. It is part of why they can do the rush and cover things so well. But, I like the only question about Bailey is the character thing that you got continue to have to flush out. And then, Maui Noah, I just don't know. It's just whether or not you feel like you can maximize the pick. Are you maximizing your pick? But I don't know if there is going to be the definitive answer on that in this draft. If Maui Noah becomes an 8 to 9 year starter for you at right tackle and let's say makes conservatively a Pro Bowl, is that a good draft pick? I would say yes.
I think David Bailey is the better prospect.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, if
I think you and I agree on that, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think that this is the debate. This is the debate from here on forward. And no longer do we have to play these games where it's just like, let's have some fun with this pick, because this team's not having any fun right now. Like, no. Trying to cover this team, trying to root for this team. Like, when you see the direction that they are clearly going and they're telegraphing, as far as especially at the quarterback position, you have to continue to build this roster. And the best way to do that is not taking, a fun, electric playmaking running back at that spot, or, I'll throw in this for, the off-ball linebacker or safety that are also part of, the top 10 prospects, top 5 prospects in this draft. It's the responsible thing to do. It's going to set you up for success. It's like, and it would separate this Cardinals team from previous iterations of the Cardinals, because when they've been backed in the corner and they felt like they're out of solutions or answers as far as where they should go in the draft, they always kind of go against the grain and they try to make up for a previous problem with that pick and hit a home run with it, and they whiff. And you can't take that any longer. Like, you have to continue to fortify this roster, and then when the opportunity presents itself, the quarterback, you go aggressively after it. Whether it's, Ty Simpson is within striking distance of 34 and you trade up for him, or he falls in your lap at 34, or you're out of Ty Simpson business completely and you're going to go towards the quarterback solution in 2027. But regardless, what you do at 3rd overall is going to set that player, whether or not just getting the ball back in his hands with Bailey and getting after opposing quarterbacks, or protecting him, Maui Noah.
And I just posted this on Twitter. Like, what do you think is the safer pick between the two players?
I would say Maui Noah.
I would agree.
But I'd say he's got a higher floor where David Bailey has a higher ceiling.
David Bailey could come out and be the best player in this draft.
Yeah.
I don't think we're ever going to say that Francis Maui Noah is the best player in this draft class. But I think there's a chance that you could say that about David Bailey. I think, let's see his measurables one more time, Noah. Like, his pro comp is the kid out of Denver, Bonito, who's been a stud, that they didn't get in the first round, by the way. He I think just turned 22, and has been a consistent sack machine since going back to his time at, I don't know, just dumpster Stanford. And then he became a hired mercenary this year for Texas Tech. They bought him for a premium with NIL money, and he dominated for them. And that Texas Tech defense was elite. So, like, I have no issue. Typically, I'm a little scared of, like, Big 12 defenders, ACC, players. These two are the exception to the rule, especially in this class. So, I mean, like, if either of these are the pick, I will have zero problem with it, knowing what we know now. Having said that, and you can take this off the screen, Noah, my opinion right now is, knowing what we know, I would take Francis Maui Noah, because of the investment that they're going to make eventually at quarterback, whether it's this year or next year, the leaning on the side of your head coach. Remember, Jonathan Gannon might still be here if they had taken the defense seriously earlier, but they went to Dollar General and bought a bunch of guys and overpaid for journeymen, and it bit him in the ass, right? Give Mike LaFleur all the tools that he needs. I also, until, and this isn't fair to David Bailey, I got to see something superior out of Nick Rallis this year. I don't want to see David Bailey out in coverage. I don't want to see David Bailey splitting time with Zaven Collins. Like those are real concerns for me. Whereas Maui Noah comes in, it's like, okay, we're good there.
Right. Yeah. He can help you almost in every part of Mike LaFleur's offense, right? Like he's going to be a guy that should be a bully in the run game and should be a guy that develops in the passing attack. And you can set it, forget it, him and Paris Johnson Jr. as your right and left tackle for the next half decade. And that feels pretty good. I mean, when you can you say that in other parts of the Arizona Cardinal, Phoenix Cardinals history? You can't. You have to go back to the St. Louis days, right? Like there hasn't been that type of offensive line. Like and that's been a crutch for this fan base to say, well, you've never set up to protect the quarterback. This would be your best bet at it. And this isn't like that's the thing I need to get away from this fan base and the talking points. Like this is not Levi Brown, Adrian Peterson draft. Like as far as the evaluations of these tackles, it has come a long way since 2007, 2008. It has. Like it doesn't feel that long ago, but as far as how they vet these guys,
feels like yesterday to me.
That's because you're sick. You're a sick man. I mean, it's not Levi Brown and like the people that are still in Camp Love. I think it's just time to give up on childish things, folks.
Okay. Well, that's rude. Hit that like button. We're waiting the top 30 visits. Mike Garafolo is going to hopefully join us soon and talk about where the Cardinals stand. They haven't had a notable top 30 visit yet. Yeah. Jeremiah Love was visiting with the Titans over the weekend. I do not think the Cardinals will be able to trade down. I've gone on the record like that. Do I think, Bo, that is Monti Ossenfort's preference? 1,000%. I think 1,000, not to, the edge of the top 10 or outside of it, God forbid. But like, is there a way for you to find John Harbaugh's phone number and get them to give you a pick to jump Tennessee? That would be the hope. And again, you're trading
on the dollar. Take it.
60 cents on the dollar.
Yes.
They want to give you a third rounder, do it. Because Tennessee's not taking Maui Noah. They would take David Bailey, I believe, in that scenario. If you can go down and get a pick and get Francis, I think that's best case scenario. We're coming back around the break. We got info on our draft party. Plus, we're going to debrief Fran Duffy's comments that the Arizona Cardinals are, quote, a Ty Simpson team. Hit that like. It's PHNX. Hit that like button for our friends at Window Depot. Again, we mentioned it earlier, heating. It's going to be 104 degrees on Thursday. Do you have the right windows? Do you have the right flooring? They've got you covered. Introducing Flooring with Window Depot, currently available at all Tucson stores and coming soon to Phoenix. Of course, now is the perfect time to kick off that home renovation you've been thinking about. They've been serving Arizona since 2002. And while they started on windows and our expertise on the matter, they do way more. Windows, doors, skylights, cabinets, counters, sinks, and more. The best part is they're in stock and ready to pick up. They've got the best price and the best inventory, bar none. From windows to cabinets and countertops, they stock up what you want. The best budgets, the best deals, and the best products. No wait times, no gimmicks, just everyday low pricing with a ready-to-go inventory. Here's the best part for me in the East Valley. They got 7 locations across AZ with windows proudly manufactured here in the home desert. They're based in Tucson. They've got Phoenix, Tucson, Chandler, and so much more. Whatever the home site or job site, Chandler's my home base, the project is ready for you to tackle. Not weeks on end. They're ready to go. Shop online. You pick up in store. And if you need a custom order, they'll help you there as well. Visit thewindow.depot.com to get your next project started today. Stop in and give Window Depot a call. Their team will get you set up. Maybe you don't know what you want. Maybe you want to browse. They're perfect for that as well. The Window Depot, more than a window store.
If you love the NFL Draft, then this is your edge. The Die Hard NFL Draft Guide is built and based off of thousands of hours of film study, being boots on the ground, Shrine Bowl, Senior Bowl, Combine, talking to scouts, talking to coaches, really getting a feel for where these players are best going to fit and project in the NFL, and we're talking hundreds of players in this class.
This is the best draft breakdown Cardinals fans can find. It's all inside Fran Duffy's 2026 NFL Draft Guide at GoPHNX.com. We're talking scheme fits, positions of need, and prospects that are going to define the offseason, setting Michael Floor potentially up for success, keeping Monti Ossenfort employed.
All right, so what are you going to find in the guide? Well, you're going to find player comps. You're going to find strengths, weaknesses, physical tools, analytics, highlights, analysis from all across the space, everything you need to try and determine who are the best players for your team. You get access to the guide if you're a diehard, and you'll also get access to a couple of individual breakdowns I'm doing specifically for your team. All right, look, if you want surface level breakdowns, you can get them anywhere. But if you want independent thought, if you want thorough breakdowns on all of these prospects, become a diehard, get the guide. Or you can get access to the 2026 guide for just $26. Let's win draft season.
We got news from the draft party here in just a couple minutes. We're going to give you the skinny. People have been asking. We appreciate all the positive feedback. But first, let's talk a little Fran Duffy. Bo, you dropped a little one-on-one with Fran over the weekend, and the headliner from that is that Fran believes, people around the league believe, that the Cardinals, they're a Ty Simpson team.
Yeah, just dropped that little nugget during our conversation that insiders were, before, people started working out or free agency began, that the Cardinals were a, quote, Ty Simpson team. So I found that interesting, but now you try to figure out where this team is as far as their like or love of Ty Simpson. Like, are they willing to get back into the first round? They like Ty Simpson from the stance of, if he falls into our lap at 34th overall, you just run the ticket into the to submit to select him out of Alabama with the second pick in the second round. That's just a couple things that go into it. What Fran kind of outlined is, like, you could go about it like the Giants did with Jackson Dart, or you could go about it like the Saints did with Tyler Shuck. And both of those are investments. Those are still high draft picks, and you're giving up capital. But in this draft, you're probably not parting with a lot of future draft capital, if anything, if it's not just in the near future and like day 2, day 3 capital instead of 2027. And if you do that, then it's like, okay, you've got a mild investment there. But if there's like a heavy commitment as far as 2027 assets, and maybe trying to get ahead of a Jets at the 16 spot, or the Steelers, or that second Browns pick, then it's probably one that's signs of, we really like Ty Simpson and we're willing to bow out of 2027 contention.
Be a crazy play to allow Monti Ossenfort to trade away capital in 2027.
Right. Yes.
It would be insane. That's why I think you can't dismiss it, because this team is operating with a crazy mindset at quarterback. Crazy is like the best way I can describe it. Most of the time, it's horrific. Last week was horrific. The optics were terrible. Now, having said that, like, let's say they take Francis Malignol or David Bailey second. Let's say they take David Bailey third overall. And this team has Twitter troll Elijah Wilkinson as their right tackle this year. And your
Instagram DMs.
Yes. Yeah. And then you're like, well, we really like Ty Simpson, but we don't have a right tackle now. Yeah. So what are you doing? Right? That's where things get scary for this team. Also, let's say they take Francis, and you're like, okay, they have a right tackle, and you can roll what you have at edge rusher. Like, how aggressive are you going to get? Pick 34 and the third overall, or the third round pick, which I believe is the first pick of the third round. You're going to have to do an exercise with how high that gets you. Doesn't get you super high. It probably gets you mid-20s to going from 32 to like 24 to 26, which means, like, are you giving up your third this year and a 2 next year? I mean, like, I think that would definitely be in play. I think that 100% would be in play. 34, 65, and your 2027 2. Unfortunately for this team, but if you're telling your fan base, if you take Ty Simpson in the first round, you're telling people this is our franchise quarterback.
Yeah. And that scares me, terrifies me, because you think about who his comp is, and like really good quarterback at the NFL level, like Brock Purdy. But are you going to get Brock Purdy? you're getting in to the Ty Simpson business for the next 4 to 5 years. And you have to figure out about Ty Simpson. Year one, I think is a season where you just let him acclimate and you lean on your two backup quarterbacks to start for you. And then maybe Ty Simpson is starting down the stretch for you, even though I think that's even a bit early for him. And hopefully you see some nice things. Hopefully. And then you go into next offseason, you got all that cap money to spend, and still, like, there's going to be some really talented players in next year's draft outside of the quarterback position. But, man, like, it's just that's as a guy that's just under 6'2", and he's not that athletic, and he had some accuracy issues. It doesn't seem like that's somebody who's going to get you in the top half of the league as far as quarterback play.
So I busted out the trade calculator.
Yeah.
The Cardinals pick at pick 34 is worth 560 points. Their third rounder, which is the number one pick of the third round, is worth 365. Okay. Or 265, excuse me. So add those two together, 825. That would get you, I misspoke. I devalued it a bit. And I think in this draft, too, teams would be willing to trade out. That gets you, coincidentally, Bo, right above the Pittsburgh Steelers at pick 21. That is a little bit better value than their pick at 21. So, kind of like in our mock draft, Dallas, pick 34 and 65 would get you above Pittsburgh. And maybe teams would be willing to do it. Maybe you could add a sweetener. Maybe they'd have to add a sweetener given this draft. But knowing that, like, if you want to get, I guess now looking at this trade value chart, above pick 20, you're giving up assets in the next year. You're 100% giving up assets in the next year.
I'm pretty firmly out of if it takes you getting up above pick 20, I'm out of that. I'm out on Ty Simpson.
Well, you're already giving up your day two completely in this scenario.
Yeah. I'm out on that. I'm kind of in the camp. This is where I'm in the Ty Simpson camp where I can stomach it. 34th overall.
I like it a little bit more than you. I would do that trade. If you get out of this draft and you're like, we have our franchise quarterback we believe in, if Mike likes him, and then you have your right tackle of the future, Fran, you're rolling your eyes. This is real life. This is our life now. Get on board. I'll tell you what your life needs to be at our 2026 NFL Draft Party, which, of course, will take place Thursday, April 23rd at 5 p.m., just like the last 2 years, at the Upper Deck Kitchen and Bar at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. But there's been a little pricing adjustment. Unlike last year, this year, tickets will not cost north of $100. They won't cost north of $90 or $80 or $70. If you are a diehard, tickets are available right now, out the door price for $48, Bo. 48 and some change is going to get you in. It's going to get you food. It's going to get you merch. It's going to get you vibes. $48 if you're a diehard. Get your tickets now.
I love it. I love we were able to drive that price down. We collaborated with leadership here and made sure, after hearing your feedback, that we were going to get you in the door for a much lower price. And it's not giving up on much, if anything. You're still going to get the entire draft experience that you've come to know and hopefully love. It was me and my friends there in that graphic, and then Johnny just kind of awkwardly standing off to the side. I like that picture. Put that back up. But no, I mean,
I don't like this. What?
Look at us having a great time. And then there's me, my best buddies, and then there's Johnny just kind of off to the left, just kind of standing off to the side.
I love that photo too. I look swaggy as hell there. Infinite aura with me and my friends. All right, so here's the skinny. Become a diehard right now. It's $36. It's going to save you $12 on your ticket to the draft party. Okay. I'm going to give you all the details now. Okay. Then we'll go to break. We got 100 tickets for this draft party. We have sold out every year we've done it. Mm-hmm. Okay. When we sell out, okay, and only when we sell out, we are adding a second night. We are doing draft coverage from Gila open to the public I think it's just $25 for night 2 for rounds 2 and 3. Infinite swag, Fram. Infinite swag. I didn't Photoshop myself in. You've taken over this segment. You've taken over. Just wait till you see what I got cooked up this year for my outfit. So to recap, night 1, get your tickets now. If you're a diehard, we'll put the link in the description. It's $48. Infinite juice, Dante. Infinite juice. Night 2, when we sell out, will be $25. If you are not a diehard, out the door price is like $60 and some change, which is almost half of what it cost last year. The only thing is, no drink tickets included this year because we got feedback that people wanted to buy their own drinks and do their own thing. It's like, okay, some people drink, some people don't. So $48 if you're a diehard. Get your tickets now. Food, entry, a piece of merch, and infinite vibes when they take trade up for Ty Simpson. We'll all be celebrating.
So it was a Jacob saying, you smell what JV's cooking? It's like it's hamburger helper. That's what that is. That's the kind of vibes I'm getting from that, Jacob. I just love that we roll out the draft party and it becomes just the Johnny Venerable roast. Johnny wearing his son's.
You set those vibes. You set that tone, making fun of me in that picture. I thought I looked great. I had a great time.
You do look great. You're just kind of like awkwardly off to the side.
I'm a very humble guy. I don't like center of attention. I don't like being front and center. I'm here to do a job. I'm here to do a job. Last year, I was there to secure Walter Nolan. Mission accomplished.
Yeah.
This year, whatever outfits Bo and I have worn with Noah and Damon in the past, this year will be times 10.
Yeah.
We've already decided.
Yep. I already heard that he's got a head start on that.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. So can't wait to see that, but I can't wait to see everybody out there, as Johnny was outlining. Get in now while the getting's good. If you want to get a big group of people, get your tickets and get them at the best price possible. Plus, if you're on a diehard already, you get it at the low price at $36 for the year. So you're locked in basically through draft season next year, and you get that free T-shirt. You get your ticket at a discounted price. It's just the smart play.
Brian asking, are VIP tickets available? No, but every ticket's a VIP ticket this year. Every ticket. And here's what I'm going to tell everybody. We know people come out of town for this. We appreciate it. People fly out of town. It's nuts. It's the best. When we sell out night 2, night 2 is going to be a circus. Night 2 is going to be one of those 4-hour telethon marathons where it's going to be the craziest shit you've ever seen. Yeah. But we got to get to that. So the sooner we sell out night 1, the sooner we can get.
It's going to be like an episode of Springer.
Yeah, that's what night 2
fights. There's going to be Johnny's going to crash out multiple times.
Celebrity appearances, maybe just, Britton Golden will be in the house. So again, this is the biggest, baddest thing we do. They will sell out. So do us a favor, get your tickets now, become a diehard. We have grown this community, despite the team and their lackluster moves at quarterback. So we're going to get this back on track with this Cardinal franchise.
VIP ticket, Johnny might stand next to you in a photo, might get closer to you than just kind of pick adjacent like he is in that. That's the best one we can find. It was a great group of guys. And we are going to take pictures with whoever wants to take pics. We obviously don't think that you should have any digital copy of a picture of us. It's not worth it. But if you want to, we would love to do it. We're blown away, humbled by everybody who comes out of here. Jersey Cardinal, love to see you back out there. Jersey Cardinal was in that picture, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, love to see him. So just jump in and let's have a cool 2 days.
Let's rebuild this franchise together. Also,
Johnny cutout, we need it.
If you've been before, we give out signed helmets, jerseys. We're gonna be doing all that. PHNX merch. You will not be going home empty-handed though, because Bo and I have a couple surprises on deck. So night 2 especially is going to be nuts. So let's sell out night 1 and let's get night 2 confirmed. It's fun. So again, DM us. Our DMs are wide open because we're just a couple humble guys. If you have any questions, let us know. Let us know how we can take care of you and your friends. We want to see everybody there in 5 weeks' time. Your super chat's around the corner. It's PHNX.
Hit that like button. Helps us get in front of more Cardinals fans, build this community, more like-minded people out there. Love that. I also love that Pure Edibles is in over 130 dispensaries statewide. If you're into edibles, you got to check out Pure Edibles if you haven't done so already. They are a full-fledged candy company. Their gummies, though, aren't buried under a mountain of sugar like everyone else. Pure is a full-on candy company with gummies, kicks that are like Starburst, soft chews that are like caramels, and then, of course, hard candies. And everything tastes great, and the effects are clearly listed in every 10, so you know exactly what you're getting into. PHNX, Pure Edibles, unbelievable collaboration. How about the state of Arizona and the Sun? Also strong collab there. March in college basketball. All those are great. How about Mother Road Brewing and Pure Edibles? They've got their Tower Station IPA all in one. It brings the citrusy, piney hops that you expect from Mother Road and brings it together with a smooth THC twist from our friends over at Pure Edibles. That means no pouring, no waiting, just happy hour whenever you want. If you're in Arizona, our great state 48, head to the one of the 130 plus dispensaries that carries Pure Edibles statewide. And don't forget to don't miss out on the Tower Station all-in-one from Mother Road. And cheers.
You know, there's one thing to have your run-of-the-mill credit union, right? You do your transaction, you go, you leave, you maybe saddle up at an ATM. Then there's another idea. How about taking advantage with the bennies, the benefits via Mountain America Credit Union? Again, everybody needs a checking account, but what about the built-in bennies with the My Style checking account that has the perks for you? I'm a perks guy, right? Whether I go on vacation, buy a vehicle, shop online, I want perks. What can you do for me? Mountain America Credit Union said, well, a whole hell of a lot. How about this? Restaurant deals, mobile phone protection, telehealth access. How about loan rate discounts? Loan rates are going crazy right now, ebbing and flowing here in the spring. Take advantage. They're going to hook you up on travel and events. Again, those restaurant deals, chef's kiss. If you want to know where to get them, go to macu.com/mystyle to apply. I got my style on the brain. That's macu.com/mystyle. All you got to do is apply. Get your checking account today and start getting those benefits. And again, what's Mountain America Credit Union all about? Let me tell you, they've been around for, over 100 years. They've got 100 branches across AZ, Utah, Idaho, Montana, and Nevada. They are a staple here in the Southwest, and they're ready to service you as well as their 1.2 plus million members. You think people like what they see? Again, check them out, macu.com/mystyle to apply. Membership required. They're insured by the NACUA. Based on eligibility, some benefits require no cost. Registration, activation, terms and conditions, and exclusions will apply. Super chat time. Hit that like button. Kicking us off, it's Brian, who's been a member for 5 months. He's the OG here, PHNX Cardinals members. Saying, I might need to do another beer chug, Johnny, if this team keeps failing at everything that they do, Bo.
Hey, they've rebounded with some good moves. But, Brian, I hope you're doing better, my guy. Always good to hear from you. Good to see you. 5 months. It's flown by. You're the best. Always appreciate you checking in. And, let's share a beer at the draft party next month. Let's keep it going here with the super chats. How about we've got a new supporter here, PHNX Sports supporter and member of the channel. I'm Mr. Thomas. Became a YouTube member. Welcome.
Welcome, friend. Enjoy those YouTube-only, member-only videos that are coming. Here's my frenemy Fram, 199, saying, would you be fine with Taylon Green on day 3? I think that would be a wasted pick for LaFleur's offense. They want a rhythm passer. They want something a little bit more conventional.
Yeah.
I just like the creativity. It's not like Mike LaFleur isn't creative, but I just knowing what they want. Like they want a Gardner Minshew. They want a Jimmy Garoppolo type, which is why we talk about Ty Simpson every day.
40 time was unbelievable. The vert 43.5, right? The broad was unbelievable. You saw, the throwing display that he put on. You look at the stats in college. I think it's like 35 touchdowns to 20 picks. At that level, how's that going to translate? It's a project, man. But if you wanted to take a late round flyer on Green and just see what like if quarterback's in the cards and you want that type of athlete there, take a lottery ticket on him, sure. But not as far as, somebody that you realistically want to put a lot of like time and effort in developing at the position, because I think it's a long shot, very long shot.
Cardinals burner 199. This is the year, Bo, we forced Bidwill to sell the team.
I don't know if that's ever going to happen. I don't know. I mean, I see every year people come out and they during the pep rally and they say, sell the team, Bidwill, and this and that. Just, come on, just settle into more realistic options.
Fram's back, and I'll answer this question too, Bo. Christian Kirk signed with the 49ers. Thoughts? I love Christian Kirk and would have loved to have seen him return here. But I think for San Francisco, you add him to Mike Evans, who's old and got hurt last year, Kirk, who is pretty frequently injured, Ricky Pearsall, who has had injury problems his first 2 years, and an injured, blown Achilles Hall of Fame tight end in George Kittle. I think you're asking for problems. And I think Kendrick Bourne, is he a better pound-for-pound player than Kirk? Well, I think he's different, but I think San Francisco, they need all their voodoo magic to get through this season with those guys healthy.
San Francisco needs Christian Kirk to be a productive player. Cardinals really don't need a whole lot of production from Kendrick Bourne. What Kendrick Bourne adds value to is his experience with Mike LaFleur.
Yeah.
And if you're going pound for pound, player for player, of course, Christian Kirk, you're going to come up Kirk every time. But at the same token, give me Kendrick Bourne and what he can provide as far as helping Michael Wilson, helping Marvin Harrison Jr. understand this offense and being that sounding board in the locker room. Loved what I heard from a press conference standpoint. Great personality and great locker room guy. I agree with you, Johnny. I think he's just, for this situation, a better option for the Cardinals than Kirk. Kirk would have been great last year to take over the slot. I think that would have helped out a lot.
Yeah.
But 29 years old, he'll be 30 in November. It's like
same age as Bourne.
Was trying to churn that room, not having a ton of success with it. Juwan Jennings, who did he sign with? I saw the chart.
Not San Francisco.
Yeah, he's not back there. So they've lost Debo. They're going to get rid of Ayuk, and they lost Juwan Jennings. Like, those are their three top wide receivers in the last 3 seasons. Now it's got to be Pearsall and then, these senior citizens at the NFL level.
They wanted to have Bourne back, but the Cardinals, paid him the most money. That's how they got him here. And they probably weren't willing to do Bourne on a multi-year deal. Jack's been a member for 6 months. Thank you so much, Jack. Appreciate you. Thank you guys for all you do. Simply the best podcast out there. Monty needs to get off the chair and save his job. This offseason ain't it. We appreciate you, Jack. I don't want to say it was a tough week for the little fanboy pod last week, but I don't know how, if you're a Cardinal fan, you didn't get emotional last week.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't take anything personally where people were, upset with certain takes or wanted us to go one way or the other. I think I'd be disappointed, and I'm not just saying this, if everybody agreed with Bo and I, or if Bo and I agreed together 100% of the time. There are people firmly in the camp, Jack, that want this team to tank. There are people who can't believe, like myself, that this is the best option. There are people who think Monty's doing a good job, and there are other people who think that, this franchise, can never help themselves. So, but we appreciate the support, Jack.
If we loved every move this organization made, I don't think we'd be doing our job. I don't think we'd be giving you the best product that we can give you. But you absolutely have the ability to disagree and push back. As Johnny said, we embrace that. How about this new supporter to PHNX Sports? It's AZBG602.
Woo! Thank you, AZ. Good to see you. Love that avatar. That's one of my dad's favorites. Libertarian Sasquatch, $4.99. I go back and forth on Bailey and Maui Noah hourly. Wow, hourly. Both are just huge needs. Personally, I'd go Bailey, but at 34, it's absolute imperative to get a right tackle. Here's my thought process is it's imperative to get a right tackle, and somebody who is not like a project, somebody who can play right away. Mm-hmm. And that's only a few guys. This might sound extreme. I just feel like if, let's say they get through this entire draft and they don't take an edge rusher of note, I don't think that's the end of the world. I think you can get an edge rusher every offseason. I think you can get one in every draft. And I am choosing to lean into the side of the football that is going to support a rookie quarterback this year, next year, and support the head coach's side of the ball. That's what I'm doing right now. But you're not wrong in like, what's
maybe
that?
Not this year.
Yeah, maybe.
Probably not.
I don't think you can say that at all.
You're not going to start him out of the gates.
Ty Simpson, if he gets drafted by the Cardinals in the first or second round, will be playing but before Halloween. Easily.
I don't think so.
Wow.
Because Jacoby isn't the type of guy that just falls on his face. Like,
yeah,
he
but
can
if they
play
lose games,
serviceable.
and they're 0-4, 1-5, why you keep him? Why would you play Jacoby Brissett? The minute Ty Simpson gets drafted by this franchise, the countdown's going to be on. And good. I don't want to see this.
Short-term gain, long-term pain. Jenga Man saying, I'm okay with being bad if we take Ty, at least try at quarterback. I think that the opportunity to try at quarterback has passed.
I disagree. I agree with you, Jenga Man. Your take is correct.
What are your honest thoughts about Ty Simpson?
I think
you think he can be a good quarterback? You think he can be a top half of the league quarterback?
Yeah, I said it the other day. I think he could be anywhere between 8 to 12. And then you open up the rookie.
8?
Yeah.
8. You think he'd be a top 10 quarterback? Ty Simpson. Was he a top 10 quarterback in the SEC last year?
What we saw from
That's a little much.
What we saw from Bo Nix, what we've seen from Jared Goff, what we've seen from these fringe guys, I don't know. I think you guys start taking some flipping swings instead of living in this funeral home. Like I'm ready for this franchise to come out every year and take quarterback high until they figure it out.
Bo Nix and Jared Goff played a ton of college football.
They did, and that's the biggest concern for Ty. He's been in college for a long time. He played pretty well this year until things went off the rails. So if they think he can come in here and be the perfect like Mike LaFleur kind of QB, you have to take him.
Okay.
Why? So we can. Okay, you and I are both in agreement that with Jacoby Brissett and this roster retool, they're going to win more games than last year, correct?
Yes.
And then they're going to have strength of schedule tiebreakers.
Mm-hmm.
They could be sitting at 7 at next year's draft. I mean, like, who are you going to get? Like, you might get the 3rd or 4th best quarterback. I mean, like, that's a risk, man. That's a huge risk. If they love Ty Simpson, figure out a way to make it. I have no issue with that. You're telling Mike LaFleur, who committed to this franchise, like, hey, I like this guy, and you're going to tell him no?
But here's the difference between, let's say, QB3, QB4. Those guys probably have a legitimate, surefire first-round grade, where Ty Simpson, I know he got the 32.
From everybody.
But everybody we've talked, like when we talked to Brewer, he's even skeptical that that's truly the feeling.
If it's a Jackson Dart, Tyler Shuck type of grade, you got to take him. No issue with it. I'm not saying give up the house for him.
Also, two guys who played a ton more football than Ty Simpson.
Tyler Shuck was in college for 8 years. Brian P, $5. Rollis will have Bailey benched, playing special teams only by week 8. Can't be trusted with another premium pick, Francis, all day. I agree with Brian right now. That's my thought process as well.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm Maui Noah as we stand here on 3/16 Steve Austin Day. I say Maui Noah as Cardinals' 3rd overall pick.
Somebody just sent me the Ty Simpson combine numbers. They're almost identical to Bo Nix's in terms of like his 40, his measurables, and again, like I don't think Bo Nix is like an elite quarterback, but he's got an offensive coach, and they can build up the roster around him. Start taking some swings. The little bro, Das Libra, $4.99. Maui Noah's safe, longevity, been a fan for 38 years, and maybe one time the team has had a solid O-line.
Yeah. It'd be nice.
They need it.
It's not the sexiest pick by any means, but I
think people would be pro the move after watching Jonah Williams last 2 years. Good Lord. Fram. Whoever the Cardinals selected 3 is going to be a beast, whether O-line or D-line. It's a good problem to have as long as Arvell Reese doesn't force the issue.
Yeah.
Monty can't help himself with Ohio State players.
How about this from Iron Will? Part 1. Yeah, I think Josh Sweat will get traded. I'll break some news right now. When JG got fired, Sweat asked to be traded. JV last Monday's podcast. No, I don't think you said he'll get traded. But part two, Johnny, you're the source of the Sweat rumors. Easton Butler twisted it on Friday saying breaking news. He asked to be traded and this week.
Yeah, so I saw that, some fraudulent work, and that got tagged in some aggregated Packer accounts that people think that they're going to trade for him. What I told you is 100% accurate and took place 2 months, over 2 months ago. So like Mac Wilson coming out and saying, Sweat's not going anywhere. Well, yeah, I don't think they're going to trade him now. Now, if they stink this year and Sweat's got like 8 sacks at the deadline, I think you have to move him and try to get, a day 2 pick for 2027. But like, I will put it on my mortgage, my 401k, anything. The day Jonathan Gannon got fired, first of all, and Bo and I have talked about this, the atmosphere was players were in shock. Gannon spoke to the team before he was not forced to leave, but before he left. So Josh Sweat, who is the biggest reason why Josh Sweat's here is because of Gannon, told the team, he's like, I want to be traded.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened. There's no reason for me to make that up. And I didn't bring it up because it hasn't been relevant.
Right.
Because the team wasn't actively shopping him.
Right.
And they're going to go into the season together.
Not a standing trade request that anybody can determine or say. How about this from a loyal supporter for 5 months? Desert Vulture appreciate PHNX Sport #1.
Woo! We are #1. And shout out to our guys at the Wildcats podcast. They get to cover a #1 basketball team, which I'm soup jelly of, but they're doing a great job, Damon and Kev. Sweet baby Dame.
Yeah, it all grows up.
That's right.
I don't know if they're #1, but they're a #1 seed.
Are they not the #1 overall seed?
Duke's the top seed overall. But
really?
Yeah, you're a big casual.
I barely know the rules. AZ Moses 89, $4.99. Anyone coming from the east to the draft party I can carpool with? I promise I'm house trained. We'll wait to pass gas at stops and pitch in on gas. That's a hell of a sales pitch, AZ Moses. DM him. Let him know if you're free.
I believe coming from Oklahoma, if I remember correctly. Is that where AZ Moses resides? That's a long trip.
It is. I love the option of night 2 now being. So your 2 tickets this year is less than your 1 ticket last year. And just if people come and they stay at Healer or wherever they stay, I just love getting to hang out with you guys for 2 days.
Yeah.
I'm fired up about that.
Let me go back. Let me just go off real quick. I'll just read this. No, but Steven Jackson from the show said, did Jerry with a G and 1 R say that Sweat is getting traded? ? Jerry Gurgich.
I'll see him at the combine next year. I'll have some strong words for old Jerry. What he robbed us of.
Arch Manning's doing his press conference and Johnny's just yelling at it. Some poor old man in the back.
Son, I don't know you, but I know you. Desert Vulture, $5. Johnny and Bo, why does Florio continue to link Cousins to us when Raiders, even Steelers, are more interested? Because nobody, and I don't give Florio grief for this, nobody can comprehend what the Cardinals are doing at quarterback right now. Nobody.
Yeah, you want to believe that there's another shoe to drop, that there's more to the plan. But you can say a lot of bad things about Mike Florio. For this, I'll commend him for it. But there's no truth to it. There's no actual legs to it. It's just speculation. So
I'd love for it to be true. What do you make of Garoppolo? Do you think there's a chance they could bring him in?
No. For what? Are they going to trade Jimmy or Jacoby?
No, I just Jimmy doesn't have a team.
What are they going to do with that Kinko's picture that they put up of Jacoby that took 2 seconds? They're going to take it down?
People were DMing and adding us because Justin Fields got traded. And as much as everybody, I would love for Jacoby to go to the Jets, the Cardinals are dug their heels in. The draft is our only hope. It's right. Next month.
Do we get to Damon?
We didn't. We missed it.
Okay. Drew Aller, hold the line. Texas D-line coach on the staff. Any players to look for out of Texas? I think Matt Schaub could teach Aller footwork, Bo. True.
He's probably the favorite among Cardinal fans, is just a flyer.
Yeah. I honestly, I'm not like anti-Aller. I just think that it just depends on where you get him. Do you get him with your 4th round pick? I'd be cool with that.
I would be fine with. I've talked myself into. I would be fine with Carson Beck as well.
Okay, yeah, I'm okay with that too.
You talk about play a bunch of college football. Based Bishop 199 emo fan for life flips hair like Bully McGuire. Is that me today? Because I don't have a hat on.
Got some good flow.
I gotta get a trim. It's not good when you have long gray hair, at least for me. Get the grays in there.
You look distinguished. A college professor. How about this? Ray Fram. Bo, am I JV's frenemy because I reside in Yuma?
Yuma bros.
Straight up friends from Y-Town. He stops there all the time on his way to the West Coast.
Disneyland.
I'm trying to teach him all the good spots though. Get into Yuma.
No.
Fill up on gas.
No.
Get some Mr. G's or some chili pepper, and then get out of town. Get out of Dodge. Get to San Diego.
I use the restroom and then I leave. The Icon $4.99.
Anyway.
Not feeling Simpson. Cards need BPA at 3 and 34. Would rather reach on Aller in the 3rd. I don't have an issue with that.
Push you back to 4th, and I'm in on that. The Icon.
Libertarian Sasquatch. I mean, take a quarterback high, and I'm fine with it. It doesn't have to be Ty Simpson. Libertarian Sasquatch $4.99. JV QB 3 or 4 next year is a Levitt type. Gianni, do you really think Simpson is better than Levitt? I do not think Ty Simpson is better than Sam Levitt. I thought Sam Levitt had a healthy year and his physical traits. I think he's much more of a Tony Romo. I think Sam Levitt would be firm QB2 in this class, and I think he really hurt himself.
Yeah. He's got a lot to prove at LSU. I think that's a good spot for him to be. Look at what Kiffin's done with both Dart and Chambliss in back-to-back years, put them in a position to be coveted, even though Chambliss wants to be Van Wilder and never leave college. But
I'm anti him now. I don't like him.
Yeah. But Levitt, I mean, that's like you're going to take a guy with a lower ceiling and punt on getting a guy with a higher ceiling. That's what next year's class has, a bunch of those guys. And I'd rather kind of delay it for that.
Does Monty get to next year? Shaft, $5. I can't wait. This is a great endorsement. I can't wait to party at the draft party. I have a question. Why stop after day 2? Let's party and make it 3 nights. Chug Johnny emoji. I'm going to tell you right now, if it's a huge success, we would consider doing something like that. It would have to be early morning Saturday. But Shaft, that's a perfect segue as we end the show. One more shout out. Our draft tickets are on sale right now. If you're a diehard, go PHNX.com. We'll put a link in the description. Out the door price for diehards. No fees, nothing on top of it. No rebate you got to send in. It's $48 to get a ticket into our draft party this year. Free food, you get a free meal, you get a piece of merch, and we got other surprises in store. We're going to be hanging out. There's going to be a bar. You can buy your own drinks or not. And then when we sell out, day 2, $25. And if you're not a diehard for whatever reason, if you're waiting to get in on the action post diehard, $60 out the door. So I want to make sure some people don't, have money to throw down 48 and then the $36 diehard. So just letting people know the better deal is become a diehard now and then get your ticket at the diehard price, because then you get a free shirt with your diehard membership. But if you're holding out, it's $60 still, half as cheap as last year.
Put us on the board. Our guy, Brian, always supporting us in any way he can. We always appreciate that. Brian P., getting those tickets, getting it done. Of course, he's a diehard. That's the early access to get these tickets. Go phnx.com/diehard to sign up and get in now and get all those perks in that free shirt.
Great show. We appreciate everybody here. The little bro saying night 3 is at his house. He said it. I didn't hit that like button. We got a full week of content this week. We got Fran Duffy, hopefully Mike G, some special guests going to give us clarity ahead of pick 3 and the 2026 NFL draft. For Bo, Noah, I'm Johnny. Go get your draft tickets. We'll see you Tuesday. Peace.
What the dog doing?
We all see